So yeah, how can we be there for others without losing ourselves? The empathetic resonance is the mirror neurons. We perceive others, we show empathy for another person's suffering, and this is the evolutionary adaptive mechanism. It allows us to cooperate for others, and it allows us to defend our young and protect our young. You see your little child fall over, scratch his knee, pick him up, cuddle him, great. Also protects us and the group, the community, when our lives are in danger, because it's co-feeling. You see somebody else is suffering, you all get together, and you do something. Because we're all hardwired for social interaction to protect particularly our group and our species. Now, the trouble is, what can happen is we can get empathetic distress. We can get compassionate fatigue. Caregivers, key workers, people who work, for example, counsellors, people like me who work in therapy. We can take on board another person's emotions and get overwhelmed. You can have compassion fatigue. You can get vicarious PTSD. You can get vicarious trauma. So we have to learn protective mechanisms to work with that person so that we don't take on board what's happening to them. Where we get absolutely burnt out, where there's just nothing left to give, where you just feel blank. So, what do we do when we listen to a person who's struggling? Just try to think in your life where you've had to listen to a person who has got a lot of struggle going on in their lives. And the first thing you do when you listen to your friend or somebody in your family who's outpouring all their distress and their emotion, the first thing you want to do is you want to jump in, you want to fix it, and you want to problem solve it. It's totally natural. But the trouble is, the moment that you try to jump in to their narrative, is it breaks the emotional, compassionate connection. And that person in distress gets more distressed because what you're doing is you're putting the attention onto yourself rather than listening to them. Now, we are going to talk about compassionate listening more on Friday, so I'm going to leave it at that really. But basically, compassionate listening is when you listen with your ears and your eyes and your body, but not with your thinking, judging, fixing. I need to change this mind. Remember, mindfulness is not about fixing or changing or judging. What we do is we have to notice the sensations inside of our bodies as we listen compassionately to the person who's speaking. So when it comes to Black Lives Matter, or you're being a counsellor, whether you're a psychologist or a therapist or a nurse or a social worker or a key worker, the skill that will get and help that person the most will be compassionate listening. But how do you do it without breaking that connection? How do you do it without wanting to go, oh, jump in, fix, comment, here's some advice? We have to do something called affectionate breathing, okay? We have to connect with our breath while we're listening to the person, okay? And this will make us feel comfortable with someone else's distress. Why do we want to fix things? Because it triggers us. It triggers us to our own distress. And also, we find it a challenge, don't we? Maybe because we haven't been in the person's shoes. So to feel comfortable and safe with somebody else's distress, we breathe and listen. And also, remember rationalising, using your brain. What did we say? It was the cost of distraction. With self-compassion and mindfulness, we're not using this, we're using this, the heart. So let's do something called giving and receiving compassionate practice. So if you're with somebody who's struggling, this will get you through, and then you can build on that and do the compassionate listening. But on Friday, we're going to talk about living by our core values. How can you live by your core values? So, if you're right at the moment at the crossroads in your life and you just don't know what to do with yourself, It's a really good practice. It gets you in touch with the intention. I've been doing it all week, and today I've had a breakthrough. I'm meditating like talk about, you know what, meditating and reflecting and writing and journaling. Talk about doing that all day. Yeah, but I've cleared the path. My roadblock's gone. I know what I want to do now. Yes. I feel happy today because last week I was in a funk and now I'm out of my funk. Sorry, Bootsy Cowlins, but I'm out of my funk. I'm no longer in a stuck. I was very stuck last week. It was half term as well, and you know, things were going on. So things aren't going on any long. Let's do this practice then. Let's do it. Okay, so let's find our seat. Remember, knees level or lower than your hips. Prop yourself up. Long spine. Chin slightly tucked in. Eyes closed or soft gaze. I'm doing eyes open at the moment. Don't know why. I think it seems to help me a lot more. I get distracted more with my eyes closed for some strange reason. So I'm going to get my bell out. Let's do this. Let's do this, giving and receiving compassionate practice so we can cope. Okay? There's a difference between empathy and compassion. Empathy leads to fatigue. Compassion doesn't. You have to, first of all, work with yourself and your own distress so you can work with the other person's. Okay, let's go. Bell. Okay, so we're just going to settle into the body. And whether your eyes are closed or a soft, gentle gaze, the eyes looking just ahead of you. And with this giving and receiving practice, just really breathe into this body. And just notice the in-breath. And that sense of release, letting go with the out breath. And as you connect with the in and out breath, just arrive into this moment, dropping down into the body. And if you want to make a gesture of supported, compassionate touch of some sort, place a hand somewhere where you need it. You might want to do it now. And just so that as you focus on that touch and the breath, you're just warming up your awareness to yourself. Just let yourself finding the breath and the rhythm. Just feeling the sensations of the breath. The rhythmic flow over and over of the in and out. And just see if you can feel yourself rocked by the rhythm of it. Just savouring. Savouring that feeling, the sense of the in-breath and the out-breath. And just as we warm up our awareness, just focus your attention on your in-breath. Just let yourself savour the sensation of breathing in. Just noticing how that in-breath nourishes you, nourishes your body. Just focusing on the inhale. Lift. And as you breathe, begin to breathe in. Imagine that you're breathing in kindness and compassion for yourself. And try to imagine and feel that warm-hearted kindness and compassion. And if you prefer, you might want to connect with a word or an image that symbolises that warm-hearted compassion for yourself. On the in-breath, just connect with that. And I'll just shift your focus now to the out-breath. Feel your body on the out-breath. Just feel that sense of exhalation, the letting go. And if you can, just call to mind someone you love or someone you know, either, who is really struggling at this particular moment, in the midst of all this. See if you can try to visualise that person clearly in your mind. And begin to direct your out-breath to this person, offering them the out-breath, offering with them in that out-breath that sense of warm-hearted compassion. And now focus on the sensation of breathing, both in and out. And begin breathing in for yourself and out for the other person. One for me and one for you. And as you breathe, draw kindness and compassion in for yourself and breathe out kindness and compassion for the other person. Remembering that you're just focusing on everything that's occurring just below your head. You're finding that quality of compassion in the physical body. One for me, one for you. Inhaling for me, exhaling for you, that other person. And you might want to repeat those phrases as you breathe in and out. One for me on the inhale and one for you on the exhale. And keep visualising that person in front of you. And if you wish, if you feel like it, keeping in mind the question, what do I need right here, right now? If you wish, you can focus a little more on yourself. Maybe you could say 2 for me and 1 for you inside of your mind. Or you may feel that need for the other person and their suffering and their distress at the moment may mean 1 for me and 2 for you. Or just let it be an equal flow. 1 for me, 1 for you. Whatever feels right here, right now. Not too much effort. Just allowing this meditation to be as easy as breathing. helps to visualise the breath and how it moves compassion through the body. Inhaling compassion and kindness for yourself, exhaling kindness and compassion for the other person. And just allow your breath to flow in and out. A gentle movement, like the ocean, just gently rocking the body. Limitless, boundless, flowing in and out. Just letting yourself be part of this limitless, boundless ocean of compassion. Just be open to whatever is going on in the sensations of the body as you do this. Notice how your body softens and relaxes. Just notice how it feels. Just notice if it's easier to breathe for yourself or breathe for the other person. If you feel it's hard to focus on yourself, especially if someone else is suffering a great deal of pain, just notice what would work best for you both, as long as you're both included in this practice. And just as this practice starts to draw to a close, see if you can let go of any unnecessary effort and just let go of this breathing in and breathing out compassion for the other person. And just allowing your mind to be as it is. Allowing all sensations, thoughts, emotions, sounds and feelings just to come in and out of your conscious awareness without grasping, attaching or holding on to any of them. Just let them flow in and out like clouds in the sky. And then just come back to the space. Just connect back to everywhere where you are. Open your eyes. And then just reflect on that experience. Was there a challenge? Did you find it easy? Especially when it comes to, did you find it hard to try to contemplate compassion for yourself or the other person? Okay, so just to tie that one up, if you're in a listening space with somebody and listening without speaking, and you're finding it's too much and it's a challenge, super tip there is to fundamentally listen with your ears, your eyes, and with your body. And let the other person just say how they feel. Without trying to problem solve or change anything. Without giving tips or trying to fix. At the end of the day, there is a lot of people on this planet who really don't feel as though that they are being heard at all, particularly when it comes to Black Lives Matter. We need to sit and listen. I'll leave it at that. Namaste. Beautiful yogis.